We've got a story that blends family, fame, fatherhood, and a whole lot of drama. We're talking about none other than King Harris, the son of rap legend T.I. and reality TV queen Tiny. At just 20 years old, King's already made more headlines than most do in a lifetime. And now, he's officially stepped into fatherhood. That's right, King and his girlfriend, Jania, better known online as Nana Epps, just welcomed a baby boy into the world. But instead of peaceful baby bliss, things are already getting messy. There's tension, family feuds, IG rants, and a spotlight that doesn't seem to dim. So today, we're unpacking it all. The baby, the backlash, and the blow-ups that have kept King Harris trending and the internet talking. Let's rewind and break it down, because this isn't just a story about a baby being born. It's a story about a young man trying to define manhood under the shadow of fame, with the whole world watching and judging. The big news hit hard and fast. King Harris and Nana Epps had welcomed their first child together, a baby boy. Tiny, King's mom, was quick to share sweet moments from the baby shower, showcasing the glowing soon-to-be parents, balloons, gifts, and a family clearly gearing up to love on that new addition. For Tiny, this was her third grandchild, and she didn't waste a second before going full-on glam grandma. The vibes were joyful, but if you looked closer, you could already feel the cracks beneath the celebration. The family's public image might have looked picture-perfect, but behind the scenes, things were clearly getting tense. Old arguments resurfaced. Video clips showed fiery moments with people shouting, "This ain't your restaurant," and "Get the hell out my face," leaving fans wondering what was really going on between King, his girl, and his family. One thing was certain. This new chapter wasn't starting quietly. If we rewind just a few months, we hit the moment that set the internet ablaze. Back in August, T.I. casually dropped the bomb during an interview. King was expecting a baby. Social media exploded. Twitter, well, X now, was on fire with opinions, jokes, and speculation. Who was the girl? Was it love? Was it a trap? Was King even ready for fatherhood? Everyone had an opinion, and most weren't kind. Some users went as far as calling Nana a gold digger, suggesting she was only in it for the Harris name and bank account. Others pointed out the noticeable age gap between her and King, with one harsh tweet reading, "She looks 30 and he looks 13. It was brutal." And just like that, the rumors started spiraling. People questioned Nana's intentions and King's maturity or lack thereof. With everything happening so fast, it was clear that pressure was mounting, and King was starting to feel it. Despite the backlash, King eventually took to Instagram on November 5th to officially announce the birth of his son. The post was emotional, vulnerable, and paired with the release of a new track called "Dear Son." In the song, King opened up about fatherhood in a way fans hadn't seen before. He admitted it was time to slow down, to take responsibility, and to start moving differently. But there was one line in particular that stopped people in their tracks. "You a junior, so you know you're daddy's son." That lyric hit hard. It was more than just a shout-out, it was a mirror. King was acknowledging the complicated legacy he comes from. As T.I.'s son, he's inherited both privilege and pressure. And now with a son of his own, he's stepping into that same cycle, trying to figure out who he is and what kind of father he wants to be. Behind the scenes, though, the family was having real conversations, and not all of them were warm and fuzzy. Sources close to the family revealed that T.I. had serious reservations about the relationship. He reportedly warned King to stay sharp, watch his money, and not let love blind him. And here's where it gets even deeper. According to insider whispers, King wasn't even sure about keeping the baby at first. It was T.I. himself who stepped in and encouraged him to take responsibility and embrace fatherhood. Once that detail hit social media, fans had a field day. One person posted, "King Harris got someone pregnant. Last time I remember him, he couldn't spell tomorrow." Others took shots at the couple's chemistry or lack thereof. But some fans, to be fair, did show love. A few complimented King's new fade, saying he looked sharp next to his pretty chocolate lady. The internet was split, but the drama was far from over. Let's not forget, King's no stranger to controversy. Even before fatherhood, he had a reputation for reckless behavior. One infamous moment came in 2022 when he got into it with a Waffle House worker over pickles. Rather than letting it go, King filmed the whole thing and challenged the staff to a fight outside. Fans were quick to call him out as entitled and tone-deaf, especially when T.I. tried to defend the moment on Instagram Live. Then came the 2023 One Chip Challenge incident, where King gave a homeless man $50 to eat an extremely hot chip and not drink water. The man was clearly in pain, struggling for relief. But instead of stopping the challenge, King kept urging him to push through. When the man gave up, King only handed him $20. Fans were horrified. The chip had already been pulled off shelves in some places due to its health risks, with one teen even dying from it. This wasn't just dumb, it was dangerous, and fans weren't having it. Fast forward a few months and King was trending again, this time for a full-blown altercation with his parents at an Atlanta Falcons game. It all went down on Instagram Live, right in front of the world. The tension had been building, and the topic was familiar: King's upbringing. T.I. came up hard through the struggle. King. He grew up with money, fame, and reality TV cameras. But don't get it twisted, King doesn't like being called spoiled. Things escalated quickly. T.I. clowned King with a legendary line: "You ever wake up with a roach on your face?" Then Tiny jumped in, roasting King for still using a pacifier at 12. King, clearly fed up, started yelling, "I stand on business," like he was auditioning for a gangster flick. T.I. wasn't buying it. He put King in a headlock and reminded him who raised him, telling him he was embarrassing the family. It was a moment that stunned viewers and reminded everyone just how complicated this father-son relationship really is. But King didn't let that moment end with a headlock. Hours after the live stream, he jumped on Instagram and fired back hard. In a series of emotional posts, he blasted T.I., saying, "I gaff who you are. Nobody can play with me in my face. I'm a grown Tawa man now." The shade was deep. But the line that hit the hardest was this one: "Also, if I'm a mistake, just say that." That right there, that's not just anger. That's pain. That's a son who's been carrying something for a long time. That's a young man trying to be seen by his father as more than just a name or a reflection of his mistakes. It was raw, and it had the internet divided again. Some people sympathized with King, saying it's tough growing up under the spotlight. Others said he needs to humble himself and take accountability. However, long before the DNA test results came back, signs were already there. Ty, a rap icon, business mogul, and father, hinted at something big in a radio interview with Atlanta's Hot 107.9. He spoke about the excitement of expecting his first grandson. He already had granddaughters, so the idea of a baby boy in the family was a momentous milestone. Yet beneath the jokes and laid-back tone, there was a stiffness to his delivery. Fans immediately picked up on it. His body language told a different story: forced smiles, stiff laughter, and the unmistakable air of discomfort. It turns out the discomfort was rooted in far more than just King's young age. King Harris had been dating a woman known as Big Nana, someone whose identity was kept under wraps until a pivotal moment. That moment, the baby shower. T.I.'s wife, Tamika "Tiny" Harris, posted a series of Instagram stories showing off the extravagant event. Blue and gold decor, expensive gifts, and heartfelt captions. She even tagged Big Nana directly, making her identity public for the first time. The internet lit up. Within hours, fans began questioning everything, especially Nana's intentions. Big Nana appeared older than King. Her social media presence, her comments, her fashion, everything screamed maturity and ambition. And ambition, when linked to a legacy like the Harris family, raised red flags. Was this genuine love, or was she trying to secure a position within a powerful, wealthy lineage? People didn't hold back, and neither did T.I. T.I. has been in the game for more than 2 decades. He knows how fame attracts opportunists. He also knows how love can blind even the sharpest minds. Sources close to the family revealed that T.I. pulled King aside on multiple occasions, warning him to tread carefully. He was polite but firm: "Don't let your emotions get in the way of your future." But King, like many young adults trying to carve out their own path, didn't take the warning well. Instead of processing the advice, he ran straight to Big Nana, telling her everything. That moment may have been the true turning point. What started as a private concern turned into a full-blown rift. Big Nana reportedly began distancing King from his family. He started missing events, skipping family get-togethers, and becoming more defensive online. Some fans speculated he was being iced out. Others said Big Nana was isolating him on purpose. Either way, the result was the same. King was drifting further and further from the people who raised him. Public incidents soon followed. One of the most notable took place at an Atlanta Falcons game, where King got into a shouting match with a stranger in the crowd. T.I. stepped in to de-escalate the situation, but King exploded, yelling that he was standing on business. It wasn't the first time King's behavior made headlines, but this time felt different. This wasn't just a rebellious teenager. This was a young man unraveling in front of the world. In October, King Harris was arrested in Georgia. He reportedly almost collided with a police cruiser, and during the booking process, it was revealed he had an outstanding warrant for failing to appear in court. Add that to a growing list of outbursts, viral moments, and drama, and you've got the profile of someone who seems to be spiraling. But King's antics aren't just about defiance. Look deeper and you'll see a pattern. Take the Waffle House incident, for example. King launched into a heated argument with employees over pickles. Yes, pickles. He screamed that he had more money than them and dared someone to come outside. Then there was the clip of him paying a homeless man to eat a dangerously spicy chip on camera. When the man gave up halfway, King only gave him $20 out of the promised $50. Fans weren't just disgusted, they were concerned. Because it didn't feel like arrogance. It felt like desperation. According to King, the root of this behavior isn't fame, it's neglect. He's spoken candidly about growing up during the family's reality show, The Family Hustle. While his parents filmed scenes in their glamorous mansion, he claims he was often living with his grandmother in a rougher part of town. He says he was only brought back into the home when it was time to film. Once the cameras stopped rolling, he was sent back. For him, the show was never real, it was a performance, and he wasn't the star. This narrative of emotional absence plays heavily into who King is becoming. As a child, he wanted to be homeschooled and pursue music. Tiny shut it down. When he brought it up again, T.I. told him he hadn't earned the right. These weren't just decisions, they were rejections. And now, in young adulthood, King is clinging to any source of validation he can find. Whether that's in a relationship like the one with Big Nana or in public stunts that spark conversation, he's constantly trying to prove he matters. Meanwhile, his sister Zoni has also opened up. In a now viral interview, she said, "I never saw my parents." Her words echoed what King has been trying to express. Behind the glitz, there was loneliness. Her willingness to speak up made her the only family member to publicly support King during the scandal. While she denied he was the father of Big Nana's child, she didn't shy away from pointing out the bigger issue: emotional neglect disguised as ambition. And this brings us to the DNA test. T.I., faced with growing concern about his son's future and suspicions about Big Nana's intentions, quietly ordered a paternity test. The results confirmed what he feared: King wasn't the father. T.I. was vindicated, but the victory came at a cost. King was blindsided, heartbroken, and humiliated. Not only had he been betrayed by someone he trusted, but the truth came from a father he was already struggling to connect with. This moment highlighted the emotional tightrope that T.I. walks as a parent. Was it wrong to go behind his son's back? Maybe. But was he acting out of love and concern? Absolutely. And that's the tragedy of this story. T.I. and King are more alike than either of them probably realize. They're passionate, reactive, unapologetically bold. But where T.I. has learned to temper his fire with wisdom, King is still in the storm, searching for identity, stability, and respect. When a local nightclub tried to capitalize on the DNA drama by promoting an event themed around it, T.I. went off. He wasn't just angry, they had hit a nerve. He knew his family's mess was trending. He knew his son was hurting. And for all of his mistakes, T.I. does seem to want one thing above all else: to protect the legacy he's built and the kids carrying his name. So here we are, a fractured family, a son reeling from betrayal, a father desperate to protect what matters, and a world watching every misstep through the lens of judgment and curiosity. This isn't just drama for clicks. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when the spotlight burns too hot, too fast, for someone still figuring out who they are. Eventually, T.I. addressed the situation in a much calmer tone. He explained his side, saying King was reacting emotionally and needed to learn how to rise above negativity. In his own words, you have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life. Stop making yourself look stupid. But was that enough? Or did it miss the real heart of the issue: how deep the divide between father and son had grown? There's a bigger question at play here. King has always tried to carve out his own identity. Whether through music, viral videos, or now becoming a dad, he's been trying to prove something. Some people even believe this whole situation, fatherhood, the drama, might be King's way of trying to show T.I. what real fatherhood looks like. That's a heavy theory, but given their history, it's not impossible. So now we're left wondering, what's next for King Harris? Will fatherhood ground him? Will he rise above the chaos and become the man he's trying to be? Or will the spotlight and the pressure that comes with it keep pushing him towards self-destruction? One thing's for sure, the internet's not done watching. King Harris is still young, still learning, and still living in the eye of the storm. But with a new baby in his arms, he's got a reason to change. The question is, will he? What do you think about this wild ride? Is King ready to grow up and be a good dad? Or is this just another chapter in the Harris family drama saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite celeb stories. Until next time, stay sharp and stay tuned.